I really can't see any other way to do this video except by doing it like this. A brief history of me and dinosaurs. When I was little, I was terrified of them. If I saw a picture of one in a magazine, like Highlights for Kids, or National Geographic, I screamed. My brother had all these little plastic dinosaurs, and I thought those were the scariest things ever. I watched The Land Before Time, and the T-Rex was, just so scary that I couldn't take it. And I did not want to touch our tape of Jurassic Park, because just touching the VHS case was just... they'll get me through the cardboard or something, I don't know. Some years went by, and I started doing dinosaur impressions, and realizing that I actually really liked Jurassic Park, and I would watch it anytime it came on TV. We had a band concert my senior year, and we were doing John Williams music, and we were all supposed to dress up as characters, and guess what? I was a dinosaur, and I wore this. Then I went to college, and I reenacted the whole end scene from Jurassic Park for my friends, and I did various dinosaur impressions at a birthday party, and then the only movie that I went to see in the theaters last year was Jurassic Park in 3D. That was my first Jordan's IMAX experience. I felt like I'd had 10 heart attacks by the time I came out of there. Whoa! So I don't know where I stand with dinosaurs anymore. Do I love them? Do I hate them? Am I afraid of them? Do I think, it's not a big deal? That's definitely not the case. You should have seen me trying to get these things in here. I was like... I don't care if the Brachiosaurus is smiling, it's creepy. I read Jurassic Park, the novel, by Michael Crichton, about this time last year. My friend had read the book, and she said that I should check it out, because I might be surprised at how different things were. And I was like, but I'm so familiar with the movie, like, there won't be any surprises, it'll just be, the same thing, and... Holy smokes, was I wrong. This book was intense. So different. Okay, they were still dinosaurs, but, lots of dinosaurs. Different kinds, and, all over the place. And not just on the island. And you know what? John Hammond was a total jerk. And when he died, you were so glad. It was the most poetically just thing that I'd ever read. And Ian Malcolm dies, and there were so many raptors, and all the mathematical statistic things that all these charts and graphs and stuff that was totally nerdy, but it got me so excited, and I was just like, wow, this is really cool. And they had all this metafiction type stuff, at the beginning of every chapter Crichton had a quote from Ian Malcolm's books or whatever, and this chart thing, and you're like, I don't know what all these pixely things are meaning, and then towards the end you realize it's a dinosaur, I guess, and you're looking at these images, you're like, oh my goodness, they're multiplying, whoa, and it was so scary. And then the scariest thing that was in the book, so Ian Malcolm is passed out in this bed, and he's just in this morphine stupor, and the doctor, whatever, they're running around, and he's just and they're in the guest house, and there's this iron bar grid on the window overhead, and the raptors have jumped up on a roof, and they're chewing through the iron bars, and he's just completely immobilized in bed, and he's looking up, he's like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna die. And they're just and oh, so scary. And I have not been able to go into my basement since without thinking, there's definitely a raptor in here. There could be at least one, maybe even two, and it's totally over there by the furnace. I'm not going over there without the lights on, and maybe not even without another adult. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a really good book. And the whole time, of course, I'm thinking the theme music in my head, and oh. And then they go in this raptor nest, and weird raptor communication stuff, and the ending was so inconclusive. It was I don't think you guys got them all, though. Costa Rica just blew the thing to smithereens or something, and you still don't think that it's over, because you're I think, yeah. And it was a good setup to a sequel, except it was a sequel to the movie, and that wasn't... Well, if you want to know my thoughts on The Lost World, the book, you can watch that video. And I know I talked about Jurassic Park in that video too, but I don't know, I just enjoyed it so much, and it was like such a, I don't know, it was like a good old romp through the, ooh, I just, ow. I hit my reflex. It was just such a good romp through the jungle, you know? And I took notes on it, so let's see if there's anything that I missed. Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. My notes are as follows. Dinosaurs! I actually don't like dinosaurs, but I sure love this movie, and I loved this book. Wishlist, soundtrack built into pages. Lex wasn't such an obnoxious little girl. Malcolm didn't die, or did he? More character depth. There are a lot of people here, and we only get to know them a little bit. No doubt the book would be much longer and move much slower if the characters had a lot of slow scenes together. Some scary stuff they left out of the movie that I won't forget too soon, such as the pterodactyl aviary walk-through attack, which I guess they put in the third movie, kind of, but, like, way scary here. Paddling like mad down the river with a T-Rex chasing them, the T-Rex snorting at the kids through the waterfall, the raptors chewing on the metal bars over Malcolm's bed, and why on earth don't they just move him and go to another room? The T-Rex eating Lex illusion. I don't remember that. The raptor nest in the dark, the entire first part of the foreshadowing doom and gloom thing, and, I actually feel bad for the lawyer, because he was actually not a bad guy in the book. If Hammond's outcome in the movie had been as it was in the book, I'd be kind of sad. No, not Grandpa! But in the book, he was such a jerk, with the whole Compassaurus, whatever it's called, attack was well-deserved, poetic justice. I admit it, I don't really care about the problems this book had, such as, like, lack of character development and, like, annoying kids that are totally unrealistic. It was just too much fun and enjoyment for me to criticize. So, that is what I thought when I had just read it in February last year. And you know what? I can obviously still get excited about it a whole year later. Yeah. Do you think I look stupid?